You ready? Oh, buddy. Woo! Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Houston We Have a Problem. Episode 283. Holy smokes. That's how far along we are. Yeah. Got a opening day was yesterday, so I have a random green jersey with no names or anything on it that Mystery Michael sent me. That's our shirt of the day. So news is coming hard. Not much in the financial news except for commercial mortgages are complete garbage and everyone should try to get away from them. Also, banks and brokerages like Schwab have been taking their crap bonds that aren't worth anything. If they were trying to sell them, they couldn't get any money for them. And then pretending like they're long-term holdings to assume that they're actual value, which does not work if you need to sell them to get cash for your customers. Then you don't have the cash for your customers. On top of that, Trump's been indicted on 34 felony counts by a grand jury in New York. The current indictment is sealed, so we have no idea what's in it, but as it pertains to paying off Stormy Daniels with campaign funds, trying to hide that, and then committing tax fraud, trying to take a deduction on it at the same time. Just, okay. So, he has to get arrested and fingerprinted and mugshotted and processed and have his first hearing. And DeSantis said, basically wrote kind of an anti-Semitic tweet saying that, George Soros is the one prosecuting him or whatever, and that Florida would not obey interstate fugitive laws and wouldn't extradite him. So, it would be kind of funny if he gets indicted too. Anyway, Dominion won the majority of their complaint against Fox News over their defamation case. They got a summary judgment for most of it, and except for malice, which will go to trial. And if you guys don't know what actual malice is when, and this has to do with public figures. So in this case, Dominion would be a public figure, is that you have to prove that when you defame them, that you lied about them and you knew you were lying at the time. And but it seems to be pretty slam dunk considering the emails and text messages they have from everyone kind of just being like, there's no way this is true, but we got to talk about it because that's what our viewers want to hear. So Dominion's going to get a pretty good chunk of change out of Fox News on that one. Monkey? Do I have anything else off the bat? Oh, duh. Bed Bath & Beyond said that they're going to be offering about $1 billion in security at the market sometime over the next 2 years. So they're kind of do it GME style, where they'll sell here and there until they raise their $1 billion. My guess is that they'll wait until it squeezes again, because they're not going to sell 2 billion shares of stock at 50 cents or whatever it is right now, 45 cents. They're going to wait until it pops again, and then they'll sell shares. It's hit $30 twice in the past year. If something weird happens, which it just seems like something weird is going to happen. I don't know what, but weirdness is in the air. Yeah. Bing. Also, FYI, I think I have a piece of Life cereal stuck in my sinuses right now. So, if I hack up a lung and machine gun a piece of Life cereal out of my face at some point, I apologize ahead of time. Okay. Tomorrow at 11 p.m. East Coast, 8 p.m. Pacific. It's Ramadan right now, so Rosa is spending her daytimes fasting, and so she's got to be able to eat a meal and get stuff done in the evening. But tomorrow night, 8 p.m. West Coast, 11 p.m. East Coast, we're gonna have Rosa on for frequently asked questions. So people can do a Q&A with her. We think we have it set up so that she can read the live stream. I'm pretty much just gonna sit here while she does a show, because I don't know if her YouTube channel will pull people in, but we'll get hundreds, if not 1,000 people in on a weird Saturday night on the show. So we may as well have her come on by and she'll answer your questions. She won't be able to answer all your questions because some of them will pertain to strategy and stuff that she won't be able to answer. But of the things she's filed, she'll answer questions on that and perhaps on some of the stuff that has been posted by by FINRA and by NextBridge and whatnot. There's one other thing, Monkey, I was going to toss out there. Oh yeah, someone keeps telling me like, subscribe, hit the bell, membership, and I was totally thinking that after my rant on Wednesday, it's been a while since I had a good rant going. That I would have a significant drop in viewers, which happens usually after I go on a rant. I get 100 people who are like, I am never watching you again. And subscriptions went up. I gained like 30 people. So fantastic. So there you go. Public does not like Ron DeSantis. Okay. There, yeah. Got anything else, Monkey? Okay, I asked you a question. All right. So. Oh, there's the cat. One sec. Hey, dude. Come on. Yep. Oh, you're such a little tub of lard. You're so fat. Oh, come here. I can barely pick you up. You're such a little tub of jello. Oh, the fat cat. He's here. And he's just so heavy. Bruising my legs right now. Okay. Slayer J. Houston, awesome Mariners win last night. Question. How does quantum locking work, and is it a form of anti-gravity? Let's see it work. Oh, crazy to see it work. It's not anti-gravity. It has to do with magnetic fields and superconductors. So most things, when you run a current through them, heat up. I mean, that's the entire... Well, cat, monkey can't. There we go. It's the entire reason like induction burners and work is that you run a current through it and it heats up from the resistance, and you lose energy essentially in the impedance as the electricity tries to pass through. And as you run electricity through things, you create a magnetic field. So always perpendicular to your electric field is your magnetic field whenever you have a moving current or moving charge. A superconductor is a very weird state. When you supercool something, get it cold enough, you run a current through it, you do not lose energy to impedance. It just flows right through. Super easy. Now, you can take certain objects and you can coat it with a superconductor and chill it down like a really thin film of a superconductor. And it does this weird thing where if you have a thick superconductor, the magnetic field won't penetrate. But if you have a really thin one that has some imperfections in it, little bands of magnetic field can connect through. And sort of, they call it flux pinning is the term for it. And what ends up happening is, if I were to draw it, let's see here if we can got the paint, sweet. So, bam, brush, brushes, big brush, people can see. So let's say you have a real thin wafer thin thing, a real thin wafer here. That's supposed to be flat, but it's not flat. And normally, if you got a thick superconductor, the magnetic fields all have to bend around it because they can't penetrate. So it kind of makes these weird lines as the magnetic field bends around it, right? But if you have a thin coating of superconductor when it's super cooled, every once in a while, these weird little guys will pass through it. Maybe just one or two, but for the most part, majority of them going around and kind of looks like an onion now. But as a result of these couple of bands of magnetic field that can pass through the wafer, it kind of locks it in place. So if you ever want to see cool videos, look at the quantum locking flux pinning videos on YouTube. And that's just a weird thing. You can also take superconductors, you can throw them in magnetic fields and they'll float because they're rejecting the magnetic field in all directions. So they'll kind of just aimlessly float around. But the quantum locking ones are super weird because they will just stay in a superposition and just not move wherever you put it. And that's the best way I can explain it in layman's terms. I don't know how else to explain that. I hope that works. Oops, I need to open you up. There we go. Go back to this. Had a real bad go of it recently, Kat. I swear, like every show I'm messing up. They're back in like the summer of 2021 here. Okay. Off. Daytime one. No, daytime one was on also. Damn it. Oh, it was a double. It's a double. I was just so concerned about the stupid life cereal stuck inside of my head that... Anyway, okay. Chris Collins just saw DeSantis is acting against Florida law by running for public office whilst in public office. Yeah, there's a law in Florida that basically says if you're going to run for another office, you got to quit the current office you're in. I think they presented legislation today to repeal that law so that he can remain governor and ignore the state of Florida and run for president. I personally feel that should just be law in general. Like, if you're going to run for another office, you should leave the current office you're in and then spend the time campaigning just across the board. I don't care what you're running for, school board, governor, senator, president. If you currently hold public office, you have to quit that office, get somebody else in there, and then you can run. I know it's scary. You might lose and you might not have a job to fall back on, but that should be the gamble you take. Okay. Hoshi Gaming, Houston. If I go to Seattle, can I also get waterboarded? I don't disagree with your viewpoints. I'm just curious as to what it feels like. Also, I'm down to get pepper sprayed and bit by a snake. Oh, my dad's calling. One sec. Okay. You can come back here. Yeah, come on, cat. Come on. We're going to talk about waterboarding, Hoshi Gaming. I mean, I guess we can do that. Sure. We'll just waterboard everybody. How about we just line you all up and we'll get some like gardening cans and we'll just do the whole host of you. And then we'll pepper spray you and throw vipers at you. Tom Zertlatka. GME is profitable. NFT dividend does not seem to be the way they are going. What are your thoughts? Is NFT divi going to happen? Personally, if I were running the show, I would want to be doing as many out there weird things as possible just to mess with the hedge funds. I would do NFT dividend. I would do weird splividends and recalls and whatever else. I would offer, a one-time dollar dividend. I would offer regular dividends. I would delist my stock and put it on a crypto exchange. So just do weird stuff like that and mess with them. But I'm sure there's some in-house lawyer who's like, scared of change, going, we shouldn't do those things. And there's probably infighting happening as a result. But but I do think that their goal is to offer regular dividends at this point, at least. Meow meow. How did Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox go from drinking each other's blood to Splitsville? Well, I mean, it was wasn't that what Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie were doing like 20 years ago? Was they like carrying vials of blood of each other around and being really weird? I mean, you get two weirdos together, things are going to get weird. And eventually one of them going to go, you know what? This is too weird. I don't want to be this weird anymore. And they're out. I've never seen two weirdos last as long, unless they're fictional, like Morticia and Gomez. Other than that, I don't know, man. The weirdos just can't hang. Julianne, Is the bank crisis over, or has the Fed just managed to hold it together with duct tape and baling wire? $5 for the double intro. I think they hope they fixed it, but when they look at the books, they know they didn't. Commercial real estate is a bomb waiting to go off. It's huge, and none of those mortgages are going to get paid. There's tons of corporate bonds that aren't going to get paid. There's tons of international bonds that aren't going to get paid. There's tons of real estate bonds that aren't going to get paid. And right now, all the banks aren't writing them off. They're scared to write them off because if they write them off, then they don't have their customers' money anymore. And they can't admit that because then you'll get SVB, then you'll get Signature Bank, First Republic. When people realize their money's gone, they're going to freak out. And so right now, there's just everyone's clapping, hoping that the little Tinkerbell flies. And when people stop clapping, Tinkerbell's going to drop dead, and that'll be it. I always kind of wanted to be at a Peter Pan show where like no one clapped for Tinkerbell. Just see if there's like an alternative script for if Tinkerbell just dies. Come on, everybody, clap for Tinkerbell. She'll die unless you clap for her, and just dead silence from the audience. The spotlight's trying to lift Tinkerbell and just sits there. Carlos Cruz, hey Houston, still can't send you coordinates to troll you with. Can you contact YouTube? Yes, and you contact YouTube as well, Carlos, right? That in live chat for some reason you can't put coordinates in here. It's weird. Have you tried, like, you can do decimal coordinates or you can do like minutes and seconds? Have you noticed if it's both of them or one or the other that you're trying to do? I think right now most people do decimals and it seems to work, but it's very weird that only a few people can actually send coordinates. It's just, I don't understand YouTube. I don't understand why. I don't understand, man. But I will make another ticket with YouTube. They're currently working on a ticket right now, trying to figure out how to connect my little Shopify store to the channel so you guys can see the goofy crap that is being created. we sold a poster. I still can't figure out how to get a sample poster so I can get one to Leo B. And Rose is excited that she'll be getting a shirt. I chatted with her yesterday when we were figuring out to do the Saturday show. So we got that. Woo! Okay. Mario Valdez, what's the deal with BBBY at 46 cents? Because they said they're going to sell shares. That's why. They also said there's a possibility of a reverse split, which, you know, that's debt spiral stuff. But they may be forced to do one if they get a warning that they're going to get delisted for being under $1, which they've been under $1 for about a month, somewhere around there, a little more than a month. So that means they've got another 60 days, and then look at their 180-day warning. So they've got until like September, somewhere around there, October, before they got to be above $1. So if worse comes to worse and they don't get a weird spike, they'll probably do the reverse split, get themselves above, then enter debt spiral land. Guitar stuff, Houston. When people talk about rising sea levels, why does it seem like that rise isn't consistent worldwide? Do they just mean coastal erosion, or are they using the wrong words? Well, sea level rise is going to be equal everywhere because tides aren't equal everywhere. If you are in the northern or southern hemispheres, like away from the equator, your tides are more extreme. Like here in Seattle, we get 12-foot tide swings, no problem. Bay of Fundy in Canada can get like 30, 40, 50-foot tide swings. You go to Hawaii or Florida, it's like a foot. The tide's like this big. You barely notice it. But you get different effects based on if places are in bays or if they're on like a straight coast. If there's storm effects happening where low pressure systems come in and pull everything up, coastal erosion, like you said. Also, some places subside. So if you pump a lot of water out of the ground, places sink. Volcanic islands, if you get a whole bunch of magma in the magma chamber, it actually sinks the island. It depresses the land, so they can sink that way too. And some places are the coast is building up. So like the Washington coast, where that subduction zone is locked, the coast is actually wrinkling and making hills. So it's actually lifting out of the water. So sea level rise is having less noticeable effect because the land might be lifting, a fraction of a centimeter every year, while the ocean is also lifting a fraction of a centimeter. Buddy, that's your butthole. Don't lick your butthole. Don't lick your butthole. Yeah, don't lick your butthole. We don't need to do that. Okay. She's not licking her wound. Her wound is pretty good right now. That was her butthole. Just don't do it on cam, buddy. Hold off. Okay. Yeah, so like little tropical islands, you've got islands like those atolls that make those ring islands. Those are built on coral reef. And if the coral reef is dying due to bleaching, water temperature changes, things like that, then the islands themselves won't build up as much, which means they won't have as much of this like sand from the broken down coral reef, limestone sands build up, and they can disappear. Get one good storm and nothing rebuilds the island, then the island's gone. So that's another thing that can cause to happen. Jethro, how long is this bull market going to last? I mean, there is no reason. There's zero. Like, you look for reasons why there should be a bull market right now. You will find zero reasons. Find the good news. Where is the good news in the current market conditions? Is there any good news? We've got layoffs happening like crazy. We have home prices falling, which means property taxes are going to fall, which means state coffers are going to get lower, which means, the tax base for every jurisdiction is going to be smaller. Bonds can't get paid. Mortgages can't be paid. Rent can't be paid. Inflation's still crazy. War, famine, disease, pestilence, all the biblical plagues are happening. I just don't. It's the emperor has no clothes type market. Then everyone's just too scared to be like, it's shit. So I don't know, Jethro. I don't know. Casey Chapman. Why don't more companies list on Upstream? From what I understand, they are a blockchain exchange. People fear change, I think, is the main takeaway of that. No one wants to be the first. Really, Kat? Really? Mayor? And they just don't want to be the first because they don't know if people actually will go to Upstream and buy, right? Kat, you're just gonna sit there and meow at me? Is that what you're gonna do? So I think that's a big thing. Like, I think the entire market should just go to a blockchain. It's one of the only useful things a blockchain can do, and so why not do that? You got me, buddy. Chris Holcomb. You didn't alienate this guy. Thanks for being real. Well, thank you, Chris. Jason Blackwell. Hey, Houston. What do they call Miley Cyrus in Europe? 1.6 kilometer Cyrus. Okay. G-Funk. I'm sorry I'm out today, HW. I have a Canadian derivatives exam tomorrow. Wish me luck. Well, good luck. Get it. Become that Canadian derivatives trader guy. Cameron Mirza. Teslas have a warehouse near metamaterial batteries. Apparently, they have some sort of research center in Nova Scotia. All right, you want to go outside now? Okay, you can go outside. All right, Cat had his fun. He wanted to go outside. Mario Valdez, how much longer does the judge in Rosa's case have to respond? The last filing was February 8th, so somewhere around May 8th, 90 days, which means he probably won't even look at it until like May 6th. So, we got time to sit and twiddle our thumbs, despite the fact that Rosa was saying it's urgent and it needs to get done fast. The judge apparently does not agree, and we're in twiddle thumbs land. Okay. SS Miller Johnson. Far fewer viewers today. I mean, we're at 200 plus right now, which is where we've been before. But you're still here, SS Minnow Johnson. The man loves to be flogged. Corey Jones. What's up, good bud? Driving through Georgia, people still have Confederate flags and license plates. I think it's kind of stupid. They lost. Get over it. Agreed. And this is as someone whose great-great-grandparents had Sherman burn their plantation to the ground. Good on them. All the males on that side of the family died in the Civil War. Good. Fantastic. Way to go, Sherman. Should have done more. Chris Alves, what do you make of Theo M tweet about 10 affirming market makers trading a private enlisted company in MMTLP? I don't know, Theo M. So, let us go. Search, was it underscore Theo M underscore? So, underscore Theo M underscore. Oh, it's Busy Brands. Okay. This is from 10K. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing because I don't have, and there's my onion sideways vagina thing that I made. Go to Chrome. All right, Busy Brands. This must be it. We incorporated Nevada, August, blah, blah, blah. Change the name next time. Articles we filed recently. Spinoff Materials, pursuant to which we became an independent company. Prior to the spinoff, we were a wholly owned subsidiary. The company financial statement presented predecessor. That's not at all. Oh, here you go, through him. FINRA had been reading corporate actions like they are supposed to. It was known back on December 14th, 2020 that it would potentially become a private company. FINRA has failed in their regulatory actions in so many places. Torchlight shareholders on the record date will be entitled to receive a preferred stock dividend payable immediately prior to the closing transaction of entities, them to their pro rata share of any proceeds resulting from any sale of Torchlight's oil and gas assets that occurs on the earlier of blah, 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 or 6 months from the closing of the transaction, and after such time, if such sales are not complete, will be entitled to receive a pro rata equity interest in a spin-off entity that holds Torchlight's remaining oil and gas assets, subject to certain conditions. So, yeah, they knew it would be that, become that right there. Bam. It's, yeah. He's right. You're right. We're all right. They warned if it didn't sell, it'd become a private company. So FINRA's got nothing. They got nothing, no leg to stand on. They're stuck. They're stuck, having made terrible decisions, and all of them are sitting there regretting their decisions and wishing they had never made those decisions. So here we are. Okay. Bex Hasten, happy birthday. How come Marius didn't do a short on your encounters with dirty hippies? I don't know. Marius, why don't you do a short on the encounters with dirty hippies? Because, oh man, I've only gone through like the smallest amount of stories with those dirty hippies, man. There were so many of them and so numerous. Oh, the Butler Group, they're creepy as hell. Hello, like formally charging a political rival before election, not a good look. How about like not committing crimes? Would that be a good look? I mean, I firmly believe if elected officials commit crimes, send them to prison. All of them. I don't care what political party you're a member of. I don't care if I previously liked you. You know? Anthony Weiner. I thought Anthony Weiner was like, oh, that's a pretty good congressman. Turns out he's complete pervy abuse man. Send him to prison. I I have absolutely no loyalty for crappy people. I mean, there's folks who share tweets and videos of a certain guy who was like stalking and harassing women in the 8 movement. And that's where I got my be stronger than your lizard brain from. I was talking about that. So like, I have no problem dropping someone who's a shitty human being. Zero. Like, you're a shitty human being. I can get my DD, my entertainment, my information from somebody else who isn't shitty, because there are people who aren't shitty who can provide the exact same service as you do. I have a hard time trying to like separate the artist from the art, because quite frankly, someone's shitty, they're shitty. So yeah, like, charge Trump. He committed a boatload of crimes. Committed crimes outside of office. He committed crimes in office. Charge him. If you've got evidence that Obama committed crimes, that Clinton committed crimes, that Biden committed crimes, charge them, right? I have zero issue with it. I think people in elected office should be held to a higher standard than everybody else. That's my belief. I think police officers should be held to a higher standard. Yeah, cops that break the law, they can't be cops anymore. Send them to prison, right? There should be no immunity just because you're important. Oh, they're important, therefore they should be allowed to launder campaign funds and pay off porn stars that they're cheating on their wife with, and then try to take a tax write-off off those laundered campaign finance fraud money. Like, your lawyer went to prison for it, dude. He's willing to testify against you. Like, the whole point of like busting underlings is so you can get the person in charge, because the person in charge is like the true criminal. They're the big boss man. And so all the underlings need to point to the big boss man. And that's what's happening here. So like, yeah, bust him, dude. Send him to prison. Gladly. I will dance a jig on this show if he ever gets sentenced. Oh, there's a second intro. We wild. I was supposed to be in Greece now, but rescheduled because of work. Nose Steel GMGF2, but I can't buy OTC stock. Thoughts on the snowboarder? Oh, yeah. No, Wheat Wild sent me a crazy video. Skier skiing backcountry in like eyeball deep powder. And he passes these trees and he discovers like just this little snowboard wiggling above the snow. And there's a snowboarder just plong, in 5 foot deep powder, suffocating to death. And the guy like dug them out by hand. Incredible, because powder like that you can definitely suffocate really easily. There's been instances when the temperature is just right in Seattle, we get a certain type of powdered snow that is like really, really fine particulate. And it's when temperatures are between like 10 and 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And those skiers will fall into a tree well. One breath, that powdered snow enters their lungs and hits their bronchi and instantly kills them. It's like an instant suffocation. And it has happened more than once. So like, tree wells are terrifying. I got stuck in one once when I was like 16 and my friends had to pull me out. I thought I was going to die in there. Oh, dude. Yeah. If we wild, tweet the video out. It's crazy. But get to Greece also. Go see that hot lady you sent me from Greece. She's a smoke show and a great skier. Pedro Carvalho. Houston, greetings from old Maine nuts. Hope it squeezes. Let's squeeze them nuts, right? Guitar stuff, join double intro. Iggy doing double intro. Gosh dang it. Carlos Cruz is going to super chat Africa coordinates. I have Africa coordinates. Okay. Brr. As Mel Johnson, many presidents were currently holding office when they're elected. So the whole legal statement is just ridiculous. Well, those presidents came from states that didn't have laws barring them from currently holding office, running for another one. So that's why. But Florida has that law. I think all states should have that law. I don't think, I think if Obama wanted to run for president, he should have to have quit his job in the Senate to run for president. I just think it will narrow the field down to people who are serious about it. And yeah, so I don't know, but it's currently not the law, but it is in Florida for the moment. Molly McWoolhead, I did SEER school, but they didn't waterboard us. There is an advanced school they send people to that they may do it though. Yeah, what's the base in Alabama? That's the one my friend Ben has been going teaching SEER school stuff, like the advanced SEER school where they, basically torture the guys and see how long they can last. Like, okay, we're going to torture you, and this is information. You must retain the information for as long as you can, and then these guys over here are going to try to get you to reveal the information to them. And it sounds gnarly, but, Ben gets paid a lot. He drives a Maserati, so he does all right. Just Bodies. Machine Gun Kelly's brain broke after the Eminem beef. I have there's Eminem beefing with Machine Gun Kelly. I don't know. I just know that Machine Gun Kelly makes really, really terrible pseudo-punk music, and it's so bad. I just can't listen to it. So I know that he dated Toe Thumbs, and that apparently they're not dating anymore. Pen name. You said if Amazon buys AMC, it won't squeeze. If Amazon buys AMC, legal float of 5 million shares. What happens, 5 billion, what happens to the remaining 20 billion shares owed by retail that AMC did not purchase? IOU? Nope. Becomes a PIL, pen name. Payment in lieu. So if there's any outstanding shares, so let's say Amazon buys AMC and they agree at $5 a share or something. We'll buy all of your shares at $5 a share, and we'll own AMC and we'll absorb all the debt and everything else. That means any short position out there can close their position at $5. And then it's over. Same thing happened with Twitter. If you were short Twitter, you closed at $54.20. You closed your position. That was it. Done. You just sent a PIL to the broker. They gave that cash into someone's account, and it's over. So that's all that would happen. There'd be no squeeze at all if Amazon agrees to buy AMC. I mean, if Amazon agrees to buy AMC at like $1,000 a share, yeah, prices will go nuts because everyone's getting at least $1,000 for their share. But currently, there's no way Amazon would offer $5 a share, especially with $5 billion in debt on board that they'd have to assume. They'd be like, okay, we'll give you $5. That'll be it. It'll be some sort of deal like that. Hutch, Freddie Prinze Jr., and Sarah Michelle Gellar should be the standard for Hollywood marriage. See, I didn't even know those people were married. I don't think I've seen Freddie Prinze Jr. in anything since he guest starred in a couple episodes of Psych like 10 years ago. That might have been it. The only other thing I ever really saw him in was that really, really terrible baseball movie. It's like Summer League or something, where he's a prospect who can like throw in the 90s, but the entire time he's throwing, it's like 50 miles an hour. I just wish they they use body doubles for people when like things get risque in certain movies and the actor's not comfortable with it. They need to use body doubles in baseball movies so that someone's actually throwing a baseball really hard. It just like, oh, look at him throw, and the ball's like, 96. Whoa. Oh, resetting of the chat. Always reset. Okay. There's that. Guitar stuff. I still can't send coordinates either. Man, what's the deal? Can I do coordinates? I bet I can. Well, I can probably post anything because it's my show. But if I click on Google Earth and I want to go here. Near. Come on, little ghost town. Let me put a pin right there. Let me go like this. Copy that. Throw you in there. Shabam, shabam. Space it. And I'm going to throw you in there. Bam. Shabam. Did it post? I can post coordinates. So I have the omnipotent power, so we're cool. Just you guys can't. I don't know why. Don't know why. Okay. Fin fraud. Coordinates. Ed, after ape AMC conversion, are AMC shares immediately reverse splitted, or is there something that needs to happen first, like another vote? No. It's either they reverse split and combine, or they combine and reverse split. Either way, it's basically instantaneous. Doesn't matter which way it goes. You end up with the same number of shares in the end. But no other vote. Once they reverse split and combine, or combine and reverse split, then that's it. That's what got approved. Chris Holcomb, Houston. I just have a question about Acme Parent Company. Is there a chance the big sale contract signed in January was with Tesla? I understand you can't be specific. Pazda. No, the big sale they had for a fictitious company that might be called Acme Parent Company was with a large country to do currency for them. Security on currency. And it's like a $50 million contract or something. Joe McGruff, can you go over the conviction of that McKay guy for making Hillary memes in terms of freedom of speech, the laws he broke, and if precedent is set? I'm out of the loop on this one. I don't know too much about it, but he did get convicted today, and from what I understand, it was because he was specifically sending those memes to likely Democratic voters, telling them that the day to vote was on a different day. And so that they would miss the election, with the intention of them missing the election, which is against the law. You can't do that. So that's what he got busted for. He may have been doing other memes, I don't know. But what he got charged for was explicitly telling people that election day was on a different day, so they wouldn't vote. Justin G, talking about commercial real estate. I have some local businesses here closing in San Diego, mainly because leases are going from $20,000 a month to $40,000 a month. I don't know why landlords do that. Like, you have 30% vacancy, right? You're not making enough money. So your solution is, oh my gosh, what people I have here, I need to charge them enough to make my rent. And then they leave, and then that storefront sits empty and you don't collect any rent. There's only so much write-offs you can do in a year until you can no longer pay your mortgage. So I don't understand what it is they're trying to accomplish there. When the market totally collapsed in the Seattle area, let's see if we can pull up a picture here. Google Earth. Bam. Turn on the Google Earth. There we go. Okay, we're out in the desert here. We need to leave the Integratron and head up to Seattle. So there's Westlake area, which is like the shopping area in downtown Seattle. Westlake Park, which is here. So Nordstrom, flagship store. Where's the H&M building? Is this H&M? Yeah. Arc'teryx. Bean. Oh, no, this one here. North Place. Hey, buddy. Making sounds. Shoot, which one? I think maybe this one? Westlake Extra Hop Networks. Crud. H&M is one of these. It's either that one or that one. Anyway, might be this one. I think it's this one. Can I type in H&M? and M. South Center. Maybe they left. Those look like maybe they closed that store. So that's why it's showing up. I think it's this building here. But anyway, so 0809, this was the Adidas flagship store. Like the Adidas store was here and all the Adidas stuff. And then 2008, they collapsed and disappeared. And this building sat empty. All the floors sat empty. And a couple of firefighters I know here on the island, they rented like the entire top floor of this building for pennies, for like $1,000 a month. And so for a year, while this group was looking for, another anchor tenant, they got the entire floor of an office building, pretty large office building, for like $1,000 a month, and they lived there. They thought it was just hilarious. They had like crazy parties in this office building. So that's what's coming. So these guys that are trying to charge $40,000 a month for their retail spaces and office spaces, they're going to find that everyone's going to leave, and they're not going to get anyone to rent it. And then when it gets seized or goes into receivership, someone like my firefighter friends will have a hilarious year of living inside of a department store for pennies. And that's where it's going to be. I think it was this one. Yeah, Monorail Espresso. Yes, that one. Yeah. Yeah, this is the Banana Republic in here. Yep. Okay. So, that's the future. I almost rented a storefront in downtown San Diego when I was 18 and living down there. It was cheaper than a home. There was a storefront. It had a kitchen, it had a bathroom, and they wanted, it was like 3,000 square feet, and they wanted $3,000 a month. And so the people that ended up becoming our roommates when I was down there, we were looking at it, we're like, we could just rent this and live here. It's cheaper than a house. We ended up finding a nice place on the beach, and it was good. It cost just as much. Courtney, Washington, with all the banks collapsing, will be good for our case. Yeah. I mean, whenever assets under management collapse, then you get margin called. That's the idea. And they're not necessarily doing it, but yeah. Bed Bath and Tears. Matt Newton, your buddy Andrew Tate just got released on house arrest. Really? Andrew Tate's out? Goodness gracious. I did not see that pop up in the news. Let's go Andrew Tate. What's popping up? Andrew Tate and his brother have admitted to... Nope, that's different. I'll still making fun of it. Andrew Tate's... Yeah, looks like he's released on house arrest. In prison house arrest, should also realize your top G pretty much sold all of you out and went I was just playing a character route to sell you Discord invites to a multi-level marketing scam. There you go. Okay. They put spray on hair on him? They did, didn't they? Oh, okay. They put spray on hair on him before they released him. That's hilarious. All right. Matt Newton, also, did you hear Avi Silverberg just broke the Alberta women's bench press record in the 84 plus kilogram category at the Heroes Classic? I'll be honest, did not know that there was a Heroes Classic going on at all, Matt Newton. So, not aware in any way, shape, or form. I dated an Olympic caliber powerlifter years ago. She probably would know these things. I don't. It's her birthday yesterday. I didn't remember. Oh, shoot. So wish her happy birthday. Okay. But she shares the same birthday as my mom, so that's how I should remember to wish her happy birthday. But hey, good on Avi Silverberg. Okay. Scott Chocolate, an explanation I heard from the bull market was this. The short interest is buying back to reduce exposure, and when the S&P hits about 4,200, the longs will start to sell off, the market will sell off. That makes sense. I mean, they love to leave everyone with bag handlers. They want to sell when they know it's going down. They know that this is like unsustainable, that bonds are garbage, that real estate is garbage, that inflation is still happening. There's still issues with supply chains. Car prices are bonkers. Like there's just an issue across the entire board. They're going to want to stick everybody with it and get out. So if it takes them artificially pumping stuff to get, the S&P 500 to 4,200, and then they peace out, that's what they're going to do. Austin Paralis, what are your thoughts on HLBZ, now MCOM? Hellbiz? I have no idea who these people are. Oops, that's still Google Earth. Let's go there. You want one back in? Sorry, one sec. He decided that the outside coming in? Yeah? Sweet time. There you go. All right, fatty. Who is this? What do they do? They didn't exist really prior to then. $500. Holy smokes. What was that peak? September 24th, peak 974. Must have done a lot of reverse splits or something. A lot of splits to get here. Because now they're at $7. Hellbiz stock tumbles on reverse split, rebrand to micromobility.com. Hellbiz announces reverse split, changes name to Micromobility. I don't know. I don't know what they do. Not a clue. Not a clue at all what they do. So I don't have any opinions on them whatsoever. We got free TechCrunch. Okay, it's purchased by Bolt. Scooter sharing company disappeared without trace last year. Additionally, Hellbiz brand is not affiliated with Micromobility Industries. So they, okay, so maybe they have the website or maybe they don't. Retail, rentals, share, Micromobility, and checks notes, sports streaming services. Okay, that's quite all over the place. Ow. Welcome, cat. Okay. You done? You done? There you go. There you go. All right. One more? Get one more in you? Then come stick your butthole right in there. There you go. Right in the camera. That's a good spot. That's perfect. Just right in there, buddy. Yep. There it is. Bam. And there's the loop. Okay. All right. Put it back on the dog. We're good, right? Okay. Okay. Where was I? Where was I, kitty? Oh, yeah, it's me saying I have no idea what Hellbiz or Micromobility is. So I have no opinions. I'm sorry. Sorry, Augustine. I don't know what they do. Dustin Wright, I love Florida. I'm willing to ignore your political views in order to hear your opinions that actually count. Not all your subscribers hate Ron. They just have an ability to ignore your ignorance. Again, if you're here because you're an ape and you loathe Ken Griffin every fiber of your being, then why are you supporting Ken Griffin's chosen candidate to make him Treasury Secretary? That's a question I'm asking. Like, why are you supporting the guy who's going to do whatever Ken Griffin tells him to do? If Ken Griffin is the most evil dude you've ever known, ever experienced in your life, and he's destroying the American economy with his naked selling and his influence on the markets, then why would you choose a man to be president who is his chosen son? Like, why would you do that? Why would you make that your go-to on that one? EI Houston. If the judge is taking a sweet time, not urgent, important to him, to make a ruling in Rosa's case, that it may be likely he may rule against Rosa and us and MMTLP long shareholders. There's always a chance he could rule against us, but then she just goes to the Second Circuit Court and gets in front of a panel and goes, hey, this judge didn't read anything. Here's my arguments, my precedent. The Second Circuit Court will very likely go, yeah, he screwed up. He's got to go back and he's got to actually read what you submitted. So, yeah, that's why appeals exist. Thomas Mulker in Houston. Is AMC court case getting thrown out? Not a clue. I haven't seen any updates on that one. Oh, Wheat Wild Cheese. Sweet, beautiful, and lovely human being, but 21 too young. Well, there you go. At least the man has standards. Okay. Don't see your shade and wait. It's not Saturday. No, it's Friday, my man. It's not Saturday yet. Fat Nose 94 went to college in upstate New York with the guy who saved the snowboarder. I'm shocked to be hearing you say it right now. No, the video is crazy. It's like a helmet cam GoPro video. Dude just skiing along, some deep powder, and then there's just snowboard sticking out of the snow. Dude's trapped, can't breathe. It's pretty crazy. Molly McWoolhead. I had the Navy and Marine one. That's in Maine, and there's another in Eastern Washington. Not sure who goes to Alabama one. Mine was not fun either. Interesting experience, though. I can imagine. SEER school does not sound like fun. But, you know, you get that scout badge. Quantum Shore Amazon cash on hand for the quarter ending December 31st, 2022 was $70.6026 billion, a 27% decline year over year. Yeah, because they had 4 negative quarters in a row. Amazon made a boatload, just an absolute boatload during COVID. And people started like going out and doing their shopping at stores again. And Amazon took a huge hit. Plus, there's issues with product availability, shipping issues, getting stuff out there in time to folks because of the supply chain issues. So yeah, they took a giant hit. So they got what, 3 more years of losses like that before they start going negative. Yeah. Oops. Dillerman's Wharf, no collar on the shirt. That's wild. It's because of a baseball jersey. There's no collars on baseball jerseys. Even though this baseball jersey has no names on it. It's the green and white stripe team. Dillerman's Wharf, only 56 likes. What's not to like about this? Seriously, what's not to like about this? Hey, Daphne's here. How's Spain? Daphne went to the oldest restaurant in the world. Its oven's been on for hundreds of years and had lamb and the suckling pig, I believe. Looked delicious. Crossbones, does Houston talk about next bridge annual report saying sales of assets may not go to shareholders? I did not see that part in the report. Sales of assets might go to shareholders. That'd be pretty sketchy indeed. That would be something that shareholders might want to sue over if that's the case. No, I don't see. I saw the part in the report where they said they had no ability to measure how many shares were out there because of the accounting that broker dealers do. But Crossbones, I have to look at that and see if they did put that in there. Abby is sexy as F. Well, all right. Dillerman's Wharf Hellbiz is the enterprise venture of the great late Hellboy. As says Mel Johnson, Houston will make a bet. If DeSantis or Trump is elected, you have to wave the battle flag of Northern Virginia on air. If Biden is reelected, I'll wave the LGBT flag on air. Okay. Sure. That works. 'Cause I'm pretty confident that DeSantis won't get the nomination because once people start hearing him talk, they go, ugh. And Trump will be mired and going to prison. Matt Newton, what happens to our shares if Chuck Schwab goes out of business? Then someone buys Chuck Schwab's assets, just like if a bank collapses. You know, SVB collapses and some other bank picks up their assets for pennies. Same thing will happen if a brokerage collapses. Brokerage collapses, someone scoops up, buys the assets for pennies on the dollar, and then you become a client of that new brokerage. That's how it works. Robert Plant, Biden will be impeached before the next election happens. I mean, mathematically it could happen. You'd have to get every single solitary Republican on board, and they've got a very thin majority in the House. They could actually lose some House members before then, like guys like George Santos might get recalled, and that district I don't think is going to elect a Republican at this point after what George Santos did, and you could eat away at that slim majority that the Republicans have in there. But you know they could very well vote for impeachment on some charge if there's a charge they can get them on, but he wouldn't, just like with Trump, because the Senate is controlled by Democrats, he won't get convicted. Bex, Jamie Dimon, and Steve Cohen are far more evil than King Griffin. Well, I agree. They're all buddies. They're all just absolutely evil. So anyone who's in charge of a large bank or institution like that is just going to be one of the worst human beings. You don't get to that level of power without having a massive cluster B personality disorder and the ability to like look at humanity not as humans but as like cretins that need to be milked of everything they have. Robert Plant, Ukraine will lose the Biden war and NATO will disappear. No. Russia is losing between 500 and 1,000 people a day. The ratio, the battlefield casualty ratio, is 1 Ukrainian for every 10 Russians. Russians don't have guns. Their tanks are getting blown up like crazy. They don't have air superiority. They're about to suffer a major offensive this spring that's just going to just wipe out any of the Russian front line. They're begging North Korea for weapons. They're begging China for weapons. It's not looking good for Russia at this point. And their economy is starting to contract. 5% of military-aged males have fled the country. 5%. It's a million. A million men have fled the country, and they're like, peace. And most of those men are skilled labor. Talking people with college degrees, people with technical fields, people with means, with money. They're the ones who are fleeing the country. And so the economy is really starting to contract, and they're selling oil basically at a loss at this point to India and China. There's really no hope for Russia out of this. And I mean, they might, dead man switch it and hit it and try to fire a nuke just to piss everyone off. But my guess is Russia will get its ass kicked so thoroughly some point this summer that they'll lose most of the Eastern Front, if not Crimea as well. Russia has no chance. They're starting to send 70-year-old tanks to the front lines now. Like non-updated tanks, T-55s and crap that have no business being in a modern battlefield. Studebaker trucks that were Lend-Lease trucks from 1939 that the United States sent them are now appearing on the front lines. 80-year-old trucks. Like, that'll do it. Meanwhile, we've got our old equipment, our 30-year-old NATO equipment, just shredding Russian positions and weapons. Russia doesn't stand a chance there, Robert. ETX Kevin, why don't they know how to turn the oven off? It's pretty simple. They have lost the manual. The oven? Wait, I missed something from Crossbones. What am I looking for? Crossbones. Oh, that one. No, I got that one. Okay. Matthew, Dom, TD claims they have all shares accounted for. Are they full of shit? Yes. Yeah, there was a message saying they didn't allow any shorting of MMTLP to happen. Therefore, all the shares are accounted for. Bullshit. If that was the case, you would be making it so difficult and expensive for people to transfer their shares to AST because you wouldn't want to be trying to dissuade people from doing it. Because if everybody could just hit a button and transfer, then they would be left with a whole bunch of naked shares they couldn't transfer. And a lot of folks who are transferring are getting rejected. AST is saying that the real shares aren't coming, so they reject the transfer. So, no. TD is full of crap. So Crossbones says on page 14, even if a partnering transaction, sale, merger, or financing transaction were to be consummated, it may not return any value to holders of our common stock. Oh, okay. All right. That has to do with the amount of debt that there is. So they've got $30 million they borrowed, something like that, $40 million. And if the sale, contract, merger, whatever, nets them less than that, as part of the risk that they've got to put in there, it would mean they would not be able to convey that money to stockholders. So the sale would have to be above like $40 million for stockholders to get anything. Probably above $45 million because there'd be some sort of commission that have to get paid to whoever brokers the deal. And right now, oil prices the way they are, even though oil prices are dropping, it still should mean billions of dollars for a sale, which would net for shareholders. Greg 2124, I don't comment, but I want to say I thought your rant Thursday was 100% spot on with my beliefs, and I was cheering you on while you were going. Happy birthday, by the way. Thank you. Some people like my rants. That's just me on Johnson. Seems to love them. Man can't get enough. All right, Daphne's going to bed now. Oh, it is a freaky hour for you in Spain, isn't it? It's like 2 a.m. So yes, go to bed, Daphne. SMS Johnson, when the point of time comes, we should talk terms. Can't just wave the rebel flag for a brief moment. You have to wave it around and then keep it in form of the show's length. You can make whatever stipulation you want, but neither of those guys are winning the presidency. Dillerman's Wharf, do you think Putin will listen to Xi? So Putin really wants Chinese weapons. He needs Chinese weapons. There's only hope to stave off any offensive that the Ukrainians may do. China does not want to give him weapons because China knows that their weapons cannot handle the guided anti-tank missiles that NATO has. They just can't. They're going to get shredded. And then China will be like, our weapons can't handle 30, 40-year-old NATO weapons. Therefore, our hopes and dreams of scaring Taiwan into doing our bidding is gone. So that's the big mix. Plus, if they give Russia weapons, then Russia has a way of defending their oil fields from China when China wants to go take them after Putin collapses. Because the Chinese are just like, oil in Siberia. Siberia is a bunch of weenies out in the sticks, and we're just going to take all their oil. And there'll be a complete rewriting of the entire map. Putin's entire calculus on this was so misguided because the Russian tradition is when there's bad news, you can't say there's bad news because then you'll get blamed for the bad news. So you tell them whatever they want to hear. Like, oh, do you have 50,000 men in your battalion? You say yes, even though you got 20,000 men in your battalion, because you say yes, you get the paychecks for 30,000 men that you can use to buy your yachts in Italy, right? And go sail the Mediterranean and eat caviar and whatnot. There we go. That's what she wanted. And so when things started to go wrong, right? Oh, well, you got to take all 50,000 of your men and do a blitzkrieg across Ukraine. They go, okay, totally. And they're like, okay, we don't have 50,000 men. We got 20,000. That means every single solitary man has to be inside of a tank to cross the border because we don't have enough infantry to guard the tanks. And all of our officers have to drive the tanks, so they won't be coordinating on the battlefield. And then they get wiped out because there was no infantry to guard the tanks from the guided anti-tank missiles. And then you have to report back to Putin like things are successful, even though you took 90% casualties. And Putin's like, excellent. Then why haven't we taken Kyiv? And you're like, it was his battalion that failed. And then Putin has to go like execute that general, put a new one in charge who's like, wait, there's no men here. And Putin's like, how are you doing? And he can't say, I'm not making any progress because he doesn't have any men. He has to say, things are great. And it just collapses. It just collapses in on itself. So, will Putin listen to Xi? Putin thinks he's top dog. Xi knows he is. So there may be a come to Jesus moment, but Putin does not like bowing to anyone. And if he has to do something that Xi tells him to do, it's going to just be a disaster, an absolute disaster for Putin. They'll show him as weak and ineffectual, and that might be enough for whoever's left in the regime to topple him. He's kind of eliminated most of the threats that were there. But if Putin gets pushed back and loses Crimea especially, then that's it. His presidency is over. His dictatorship is over. Someone, from Wagner Group or whoever will take the job. And it'll be just as shitty as it was before. Mullick Woolhead, is Ukraine basically an Afghanistan 2.0 that will destroy Russia for years? If so, how long will they be destroyed? Yes. I mean, in a year, they've lost 200,000 troops. 200,000. Those are numbers we have not seen on a battlefield in decades from a traditional army. Like 15 years in Vietnam, we lost 50,000 soldiers. 20 years in Iraq and Afghanistan, we lost 5,000. 200,000 soldiers lost in a year. That's half of what the United States lost in World War II over nearly 5 years. Think about that. Like, they're losing soldiers at twice the rate of our antiquated World War II frontline battlefield mayhem. Right? They're literally throwing bodies at it. These soldiers don't have guns. If they do have guns, they don't have bullets. If they do have bullets, they don't have uniforms. They get the summer uniforms in the winter. They get the winter uniforms in the summer, and they just the amount of bodies on the front line is insane. And there's no ability to collect those bodies. It's like World War I. It's just they're just piling on top of each other, making new soil. It's crazy. Those type of losses are unsustainable. They're losing, 10, 20 tanks a day. How many tanks do they have to start with? Number of tanks in a Russian army. So, battlefield with 2,600 tanks, right? Another 400 T-72 variants. So maybe they got 3,000 tanks. So they're out. That's T-72s, T-80s, T-90s, and T-72 variants. That doesn't count the T-64s, T-55s that they're sending, which are the reserves. There's probably a few thousand more of those. The T-14s can't get built because they accidentally mobilized everyone who was on that assembly line, and they're all dead in a ditch somewhere. They've got 5 fifth-generation fighters. They're all built by hand. They have no fleet of those, and none of those have seen any action. And if you look at satellite photos, there's like 2 of them have been cannibalized already, so they're down to like 3. Yeah, another big problem that Russia has is that a lot of their legacy fleet of vehicles and jets were stripped. Why? Because guys like me gets gold out of them. So any of the sophisticated electronics from the Soviet era has just an obscene amount of gold in those circuits. And so you rip out a navigation system or a targeting system, and you might get several ounces of gold just out of one tank. So a lot of their legacy systems were taken out of these things and turned into gold ingots that a bunch of hoodlums sold, and they had to pay remittances to their general. So they just don't have the weaponry. They just don't have it. They don't take care of it. We saw from their blitzkrieg that no one's rotated a tire in 40 years, right? They have 40-year-old tires that were just popping like crazy because they've been all dry rotted. They don't have what it takes to win a battle. They don't. What we're seeing out of them is what we saw out of them in World War I, World War II, the Russo-Japanese War. They just throw bodies at it until they lose, and they go, "Huh, we are big and tough." and that seems to be their MO, man. So it's definitely destroying Russia in a way that not even Afghanistan could have. How many soldiers did they lose in Afghanistan? They lost 15,000 troops in 10 years in Afghanistan. They've lost 200,000 in this one. I mean, most of what Afghanistan was gunship helicopters just strafing ridgelines. It wasn't necessarily troops on the ground. So this is World War I style trench warfare being fought by one side and modern warfare being fought by the other side. And it's just not even fair. Man. So they lost 1,500 a year in Afghanistan, and they're losing 200,000 a year here. I wouldn't want to mess with those Ukrainians. They have some serious weaponry. Okay. Black Udon, good morning once again. Are you still on whatchamajigger Island out in southern Japan? Robert Plant, thanks for the response. Well, thank you, Robert Plant. Moki123G, apparently Russians are fleeing Crimea at an accelerated rate. I would. Dude. Yeah, just dude. So when it was obvious that the Blitzkrieg stalled at the beginning of the war, all the FSB put their homes in Crimea up for sale. Like every last one of them, like for sale. You look on their equivalent of Zillow, and it's just like the number of homes that went for sale was crazy, but there's no one to buy. So I'm really curious to see, like, if Ukraine takes Crimea, how they allocate homes, how they allocate land, who gets what. There's a bunch of Ukrainians that got shipped off to Siberia, a bunch of Tartars that disappeared that were the indigenous people to the Crimean Peninsula. They're just gone now. How do they bring those people back to take those homes again? I mean, they don't have to go much further towards Crimea to get, the HIMARS systems within range of the Karch Bridge. And my guess is the Ukrainians may leave a lane open for the Karch Bridge so everyone get the hell out, and then they'll take care of it. But there's no train service. The train tracks were destroyed. They've removed some of the spans, and it's going to be another year or so before they get the train service going again. So they've got the ferry and they've got the road, and part of the road they can't use because it's still destroyed. Danjo the Banjo, hi birthday. Will ape squeeze when it converts to AMC? Do the shorts have to close their ape short positions? I think the shorts have enough ape shares to cover right now with the 300 million that Adam Aron sold them. They can all now go, I can identify shares I can purchase, and that was enough for them to cover their short positions according to Reg Show. Ape itself, the way I understand it is when it combines, ape becomes one AMC at AMC's current price. So, ape's at $1 whatever, AMC's at $5. It just becomes a $5 share, and that's where you're going to get your bang for your buck out of it. But as far as ape itself squeezing, there may be some FOMO that causes the price to go up, but I don't see them having to close positions simply because Antera's got 300 million shares out there that they can waive as able to be purchased. Robert Plant, Houston, can you tell us about the Black Knight satellite? That's the weird one that looks kind of like the Batman car that was caught on, was it ISS? Yeah, this thing. You can't see what I'm doing? This guy here. It's a very weird shaped object. I've been captured, I think, once on image. This is a rendering, I believe, here. That's a rendering of it, but this is the actual image. So it's conspiracy theory claims it's an extraterrestrial object. Yeah, it's from the ISS. It's cataloged by NASA as a photo of space debris. And so one space journalist thinks it is a thermal blanket. There's a couple images of it. Okay. All of them. They should need to figure out how to make that thing center in the image so that I can see what's going on. Like, I can see it there. I can't see. Oh, is that it? One there. Okay. It's an interesting shape. It definitely looks designed. That's for sure. Naturally extraterrestrial repeating sources. So, all right. I mean, it looks like it's created, but it doesn't look like it. I don't know. It's hard to from perspective to see how large it is, but it looks like it could be a scrap metal, and it looks like it could be in your brain wants to make it into a ship or something. But I don't know. It's cool. It's cool to see stuff like that in space and go, what is that? But it looks engineered for sure. It does look like engineered parts, engineered designs on them. I don't know. Not a clue. Oh, Milkman, the most threatening name on the internet. Houston, do you happen to know anything about wavelite? I might have found a deposit of it in my family's land in Ireland. I'm flying out there at the end of the month to take a look. Wavelite. I don't know anything about wavelite. Wavelite. Meow. Well, that's cool looking. Aluminum basic phosphate mineral. Zinc crystals are rare. Normally occurs as a translucent. Okay. Really? You're very vocal today, man. Cool looking thing. I like that. That's a cool stone. I know nothing about this. So that's from Arkansas. So your wavelite. What's wavelite? Wavelite for sale. What's it sell for? Wavelite crystals, nickel specimens, $30, $100, $19 for broken bits. What are the eBay sales happening here? $18, pretty cool specimen, probably not very big. $138 for a bigger one. $70. $24. Well, if you got cool examples, you should be able to. It's pretty neat, especially the ones that get broken. Have like look like little things of limes. I like those. A little guy, $28. That's a really little guy. $250 for bigger. Okay. Wavelite. Mineralogy tour of Ireland. Ballycormac, just south of Shanagolden, has produced wavelite, caxonite, crandallite, and turquoise. Company smoking quartz crystals. Meow. Why are you so loud today? What's up with you? What's up with you, little loud cat? Okay, it's Arkansas. We want Ireland. 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 Occurrences, languages, occurrence, geological environment, secondary mineral, luminous, low-grade metamorphic rocks. Okay, limonic deposits. So this is from limestones that get cooked into possibly low-grade marbles. Occurrences. So we got UK for sure. I don't know. Check it out, man. Go if you have some, send me some. I'd love some. I've never seen that stone before. As is Mo Johnson, I'm glad terms are agreeable to you. I'm going to save this conversation in case you decide to renege. Okay. Demon's Wharf, appreciate your shows, Houston. Love the mixture of viewers. Julianne S. Miller Johnson will have to wave the LGBT flag with the Borat thong while dancing to In the Navy by the Village People. Julianne also got a new fest coming to Indio in October. Power Trip Festival 2023 featuring Guns N' Roses, Ozzy, Iron Maiden, Metallica, Tool, AC/DC. Awesome, but $600 for a 3-day pass. This is the stuff that just like blows my mind. Right? Like rock stars, when ticket prices were $25 for a concert, $15 for a concert, rock stars are still millionaires, right? But the thing is that the rock stars aren't getting paid anymore. It's that live events, Ticketmaster, whatever, they're the ones that are scooping all the fees off of there, and the rock stars get they get paid whatever. But like every year in Seattle, we have this huge concert series that happens over Labor Day weekend called Bumper Shoot. And Bumper Shoot used to be Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it could be 5 days long, and it was free until the 1990s. And then it was $8 a day. So you pay $40. You could see 1,000 bands. There was a film festival, whatever. And they would have 500,000 people come through and watch because it was so cheap and awesome. And the vendors made a pile of money. Then Ticketmaster got a hold of it with their Live Nation crap. And now it's like $150 a day. And they get 10,000 people a day coming through. So the vendors aren't making any money. The artists aren't getting the audiences that they want. And it's failing miserably. All because they jack the prices too much. Now, if I were like a hot dog vendor, I want the cheap tickets because everyone's going to come and get my hot dogs. But now that there's 1/50th of the audience, what's the point of being a vendor? It's empty. No one can afford it. I just think that I don't know. Take everyone at Ticketmaster, pack them into a cannon and fire them into the sun. Make art accessible again. $600. And that's cheap, Justin G there. That's cheap for shows like that now. Okay. Oh, political fights are getting in there in the comments. Almost the end here, and it's only a short 90-minute show today. I apologize. I got started a little late today. But so I'm gonna at the bottom here. Got anything I can throw in here at the last little bit? I was just gonna ask about Chalupa. Well, he's here. He's now staring at the door again. If he wants to go, come here. Come on, come say hi to everybody. Okay, you can just go on my feet. Cats must be squished. Exclusive 605 Houston. I know it's been asked, but any telescope recommendations like cheap, mid, premium price wise? I want to see planetary alignments in the moon. Cheapest big ones you can get are going to be Dobsonian telescopes. They're the ones that are kind of like on a Lazy Susan that articulate up and down. They're not powered. You just kind of point them to them, but you get really big mirrors pretty cheap. You can see lots of stuff really well. You can start to get pretty cheap telescopes now that have slewing. I mean, they have a little motor in them that will follow things across the sky. You can pick those up for a few $100s now. You can get really, really, really nice one in the thousands. Big mirrors, big tripods, big motors. They got auto leveling systems that can automatically find stars with their computer catalog. They've got GPS units in them, so they know where they are in the world and they can automatically align themselves without having to do much work. But for probably get a 6-inch little reflector with a slewing system for a few $100s now. It doesn't really matter if it's a Meade or a Celestron or whatever. They're all pretty comparable, and they're probably mostly made in the same factories at this point. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, something like this is a reflector. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. Get to $1,500. It's pretty decent sized mirror on these ones. This is a refractor. So this is like a traditional telescope. We're looking through lenses. I prefer reflectors to refractors because you don't get any little weird rainbows from the aberrations, spherical aberrations. But let's see. Let's just go to do this real quick. I gotta go. All right. Let's see here. Telescopes, eBay, Orion. Okay, here's some Orion telescopes. Reflectors, shop now. Okay, yeah, whatever. All right, so these ones I want reflector with slewing ability. These don't have motors, don't have motors, don't have motors. Do you have a list here? Reflector, telescopes, beginners, tabletop, equatorial mounts, azimuth. Give me, you don't have a thing for motors? These are pretty decent. This is a 4.5 inch for $299. Probably pretty good. But I would want something that big or bigger with slewing, because it's just so much easier to not have to like manually follow an object. You can take pictures more easily. You have such terrible listings here. Let's go to advanced. Let's see what they have in advanced. Okay, for $6,000, you can get yourself a giant trust Newtonian there. These don't have mounts, so maybe intermediate. There we go. Okay, and get something with a mount. Here's a really, really big Dobsonian, 10-inch Dobsonian for $800. This doesn't have any automatic stuff to it, but that one with slewing, man, these are pretty nice telescopes. These are in the thousands. Look for something on Amazon that's like $400, $500 that's got automatic slewing system. That's the important thing, right, Kat? Right, Kat. Before I can close, you have to come up here. I can't do anything to come up here. Come on. Come on. We're done for the day. Come up, say hi. Come on. Come on. Get up here. Come on. Fine, whatever. It's past 4:30. I gotta go. Yeah. Tomorrow night, Rosa, After Dark, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. East Coast. There's the cat. And I'll catch you guys then. All right? Cool? All right. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Go Mariners. See you tomorrow. End stream. No. Intro. Outro. Bam.